Hey everyone, Talks from Crits happen. We're here to look at a new mobile app called Marvel Battle Lines. Now, you know me, I'm a sucker for anything that's an application and card driven. And I saw this originally actually when I was traveling to Essen for the Essen Game Fair. I am very happy to say that I have pushed through. As you can see here by looking at my screen, I am level 30. It is unfortunately only a portrait thing here. It's not landscape at all, so I apologize for how the video is going to look. But wanted to talk a little bit about this game. This is a really unique, interesting game, and I wanted to share it with you. It has made the front page of my phone, which is pretty much where I get to a point of, hey, I need to tell people about these games. This is a game that is essentially a card battling game that is very much like tic-tac-toe combat, I guess. I'm not sure. That sounds really bad, but it's actually a really good game. So there's a bunch of different things you can see here. You can see your card collection, login rewards, things like that. The first thing to note that while this is a game that you can make microtransactions in, I have paid absolutely nothing to this game, and I have what I feel is a pretty competitive deck, or a couple of decks actually, which we'll talk about in a second. There is a campaign mode. It's very short. I've actually gone all the way through. There's only 3 chapters in the campaign mode right now, but there is going to be more campaign stuff that you can do as time comes out. The story is actually really good. I'll just pull one up here. I'll kind of come back to the beginning here so you don't spoil too much of anything. But like I'll go ahead and take the Avengers Tower here, and we'll do a stage that I've already completed. It's kind of a comic book fashion. You'll see that like the characters fly in. Gives you a little bit of stuff about each of the characters as they talk. One of the things that I really like, which is kind of interesting, is during this cinematic, if you want to call it a cinematic, there's this little info button on the bottom right of each of the characters, which you can click on, and it'll explode them up in like real comic book fashion, tell you a little bit about the character, where their base of operations is, because that's always very important, and their powers and things like that, which is really kind of cool. You can then also, during those things, click on, view illustration and see bigger things. In this case, this is a generic leader. You'll see this female character here on the left with kind of the blue hand, the glove. She's a generic leader. You can pick different decks. During the campaign mode, you only have yourself, your player character as the leader. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, though. But you can jump in and do stages you've already done. There's no rewards, as you can see here, for redoing stages in the campaign mode. But as you go through the campaign mode, you do get rewards. And then there are different things you can do, like the arenas, and you can do PvP and things like that. I'm going to actually show you a special ops. So there are different things in special ops that this is really, to me, from a single solo player perspective, where the fun of the game comes in, because there are both hard and normal difficulties, and you have options to get stars, but you don't have to do them all in one run. So unlike some games where like you have to get 3 stars by doing very specific things, you can do one specific thing and get 1 star, and then come back later and do the other 2, which really leads to building the right deck for the right situation, and it requires a lot of potential replay and replayability, which I really have enjoyed so far. So right now I have actually unlocked and kind of done all of these things, but again, more stuff is coming for this, and you can go back, redo things to get new cards. So for example, I'm going to do this hardest one that we've got right here. This is stage 210 on hard. It's at Harlem Street. I've already done all 3 of the objectives. But you can see that the possible rewards are gold, experience, and a Diamondback card and a Carnage card. Now, the cards are very much kind of like World of Warcraft. Anything without a border is common, green is uncommon, blue is rare, purple is legendary. So Carnage is actually a pretty cool card. So you'll see here Carnage in the upper left, and this is what most cards will look like. Really dynamic artwork. It's got 3 gems in the upper left. That's actually fragments of the Cosmic Cube, which we'll talk about in a second. He has 480 attack, 1,010 hit points. He's at level 1, and he says, after summoning, drain nearby enemies' hit points by 120 with symbiote powers, then add drained hit points to your own attack. This has some of the best text on cards because it actually like adds the flavor of what the character is doing. Like, for example, if I were to click on Ikari here, it says after summoning, deal 133 damage to a nearby enemy through sickle slashes. It's like it's got more of a dynamic kind of flavor to it, which is really cool. But I don't have Carnage yet, so I might want to try and complete this stage again to get Carnage. Now, there's one way I can do it. If I've completed it already, I can hit auto clear here and I can get a success. But the odds of getting the cards are going to be random, much like grinding for character shards in other games and things like that. But if I want to go ahead and play it through it again, I can play through it again. Now, in this case, I have an actual leader, a deck leader. I'm going against the Destroyer, who has 5,000 health, and I, as Star-Lord, only have 1980 health. If I click leader information in the lower left, it'll tell me a little bit about the leaders. So the Destroyer does not have any additional powers, which is good, because at 5,000 health, that's more than enough right there. But you can see that Star-Lord has a thing that he gives 200 additional leader hit points, and he adds 70 to 100 hit points to an ally after using a card with a cost of 2 or higher, which is pretty cool. Now, the Destroyer, apart from having 5,000 health, he also has 2 characters in the battlefield. And you can click on a character to see their card. So he's got the Bad Cop, which for some reason, every time in my mind, I think that this is like from the Lego movie with Bad Cop and Liam Neeson. But anyway, he has 140 attack and 210 hit points, and he also has a Gangster with 254 attack and 133 hit points. So what am I looking at? What are we doing here? What's actually happening in this game now that we've talked about all these things? You're trying to defeat your opponent by bringing their health to 0. You're going to bring characters onto the playing field, and you're trying to make a full horizontal, vertical, or diagonal line with all of your allies going from either top to bottom or left to right. Each player has a deck of 12 cards. They can consist of characters or actions. On your turn, you can play one character and as many actions as you can afford, but you must play all of your actions before you play a character. Once you play a character, that will end your turn. Everything is done by fragments of the cosmic cube or cosmic dust. So there are these little dust things that are out here on the table already or on the playing area. If I play a character onto those, I will capture them. There are also some action cards that will let me capture them as well. At the beginning here, you can see a lot of information in our hand. So for example, we have Drax in our hand. We have Iron Man in our hand. We have Ikari in our hand, and we have this action card of Sharpshooter's Arrow. Now, some of these cards will be leveled up over time, which is kind of cool, and get them more powerful. You'll notice that the Sharpshooter's Arrow costs 1 fragment, and we start the game with 1 fragment in the lower right. Ikari costs 0 fragments, so we can do that. We cannot play Iron Man or Drax because they cost 2 fragments, and we only have 1 right now, so we may or may not want to keep them. Iron Man is really good later, like mid-game to late game. Drax is really good early because Drax says on every turn, add an attack of 150 and a hit point of 150 to self by enraging at the thought of Thanos, which is really kind of cool. So, but for right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out Ikari because Ikari has the ability that says after summoning, deal 133 damage to a nearby enemy. Now, what's a nearby enemy? A nearby enemy is anybody within your 9-box grid. So if I were to drop Ikari right here, either of these 2 guys would get hit with 133 damage. If I drop Ikari right here, only the Thug will get hit with the 133 damage. Now, that's a nice way to guarantee that that Thug is going to get hit with that damage. However, I'm not going to get the Cosmic Fragment. So if I go here, next turn, I'm going to start with 0 Cosmic Fragments. So I'd rather go here, risk not hitting the guy that I know I can kill, and get an extra fragment for next turn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll see what happens. And I did get lucky. I got the guy that I wanted. And I drew Captain America, which is great. So we will have 2 fragments next turn to be able to play character. All right, so he went ahead and played Elektra. Elektra says, after summoning, deal 220 damage to a nearby enemy with the lowest hit points utilizing assassination arts. Elektra has a high attack, kind of a mid-range health. Captain America is really cool. Captain says when he comes into play, after summoning, deal 210 damage to all nearby enemies through his shield throw. That's really good. It would kill one of the characters, but again, if I play it here or here to hit all of the nearby enemies, I'm going to go down to 0 cosmic fragments next turn. Whereas if I go over here, I will not only block my opponent from getting a full line, I will also make sure to kill the bad cop and pick up an extra fragment. So this may be a good opportunity to go ahead and do that. So we'll kill him. We'll come out. You'll notice that Star-Lord adds between 70 and 100 hit points automatically to Captain America because he's the only ally on the field, so he gets a little bit more health. Okay, now we're getting dangerous. There's almost a battle line by the Destroyer. So if a character were placed right here in this middle by the Destroyer, he would create a battle line. So I don't have anything necessarily that will immediately take out people, but I do. I have my sharpshooter's arrow, which I could do that, but none of my characters will do that. The only character I can play right now is Karen Page. When knocked out, I will earn 1 cosmic fragment. She's a great way to pick things up. So right now I have a choice. Do I want to use this arrow and kill one of the characters, or do I want to bring out Karen and block? I think I want to bring out Karen and block. Now, I'm not going to get a cosmic fragment for doing this, but she has a good health of 290, and she's going to be blocking that line, so we'll see what happens. Okay, this is where it gets tricky. Now he has the option to potentially create a line on the bottom row, or he is building up a 4-way vertical line on the right. So it's definitely going to be good for us to destroy something. Now, I did just pick up a really cool action card. Tactical Retrieval says retrieve the target cosmic fragment and add 91 hit points to nearby allies. Remove this from battle after use. So you'll notice that there are 2 areas up here that now have 2 cosmic fragments, which is really cool. I think I might want to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up these 2 cosmic fragments. Okay, now Iron Man won't necessarily help us right off the go here because he does 170 to 200 damage to 2 enemies, but he does have a lot of health, which is really good. So I'm going to block in here and drop Iron Man, so he will block, making a battle line for the Destroyer in those areas. Now, he didn't kill the opponent's characters here, but that is the way it goes. Okay, that's great. That is something we haven't talked about yet. One of the things you can do, apart from playing a character, is moving a character on the battlefield. They will deal their attack to the health of the opposing character and take damage back, but it's a great way if you have a more powerful character next to a weaker character to jump in and kill somebody and have that happen. Now, I have everybody set up really, really well here. I picked up Chain Lightning. Deal 440 to 660 damage by summoning Chain Lightning. The lightning spreads to nearby enemies, dealing 110 less damage to each new target. Remove this from battle after use. If I drop that right here, that's going to kill all 3 of his guys, which is really good. However, it would then only leave me with 1 cosmic fragment. But I think it's worth it. Let's go ahead and drop that. We're going to kill all 3 of his guys. And we now can bring out Maria Hill for 0 cosmic fragments. After summoning, add 110 attack to nearby allies. So, and you can see here again that you can blow the picture up. You can hit view illustration to get rid of the words. So if you just want to see the artwork, you can do that. And it's really nice. At the bottom, you'll see it says art by Sun Jin Jo. It's really cool to me that they add the artwork of who did that artwork for each character. And everyone has that. If I click on Captain America and click View Illustration, this one is drawn by Max Lim. So if you really like the artwork, that's a nice nod to the artist, which really isn't seen in a lot of apps, which is really kind of cool. All right, I'm going to put Maria up here, which doesn't really help me make lines, but it's going to boost Captain America's health, and it's going to give me some more cosmic fragments to deal with next turn. Ooh, EMP Blast. EMP Blast is nasty. EMP Blast does a lot of damage to everyone on the field, including the Destroyer's own characters, so that's pretty rough. You'll notice in the left-hand side in the top, the Special Ops 2.10, it tells me what I could do to get stars, but again, I've already gotten all 3 of the stars on this level, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm just worried about winning to try and get more of the cards. So I picked up Carnage and Nick Fury. All right, so they're nowhere near making a battle line yet, which is fine. I'm going to go ahead and bring out Nick Fury. Nick Fury says, after summoning, add 182 attack to distant allies. So we talked earlier about nearby allies. By the way, this cracks me up that Nick Fury is like got a gun and an espresso, a hot espresso at that, which is pretty cool. So nearby allies are anyone within your 9-box grid. Distant allies are anyone outside your 9-box grid. So I can go ahead and maybe drop right here, and both Captain America and Iron Man will have their attack boosted. And you see there's like flashes for the different allies that get affected by things like that, which is really kind of cool. All right, so it looks like, okay, they're getting closer to another line again here. We do have something to block with. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to block with Whiplash. After summoning, I'm going to deal 242 to 264 damage to a nearby enemy using Electric Whip. I am going to bring him right here Or I could bring him right here. Now, here's the interesting thing. If I go here, I create a battle line. If I go here, I block their battle line. But if I go here, I'm guaranteed to kill this character, Typhoid Mary, because she only has 157, and I'm going to do at least 242. So it's the choice again of picking up a Cosmic Fragment and knowing I'm going to kill this character, or going here and dealing battle damage. Let's go ahead and deal battle damage, and we'll show you what that looks like. So you'll see here, when I hold her over the card for Whiplash over the play area, the green area shows me where I can play, and the thumbs up 1755 tells me if I go there, I've made a battle line, and I will deal 1755 damage to the destroyer. Let's go ahead and do that, and hope that we hit Typhoid Mary with Whiplash's ability. Yes, we do. That was a bonus 2 for 1 there, which is really nice. All right, so we get a little bit of an animation. We've made a battle line now, and we deal damage to the destroyer. You'll notice immediately we lose attack and we lose health. We lose half, and we have to recharge, which makes for killing a character in a battle line a little easier for your opponent, which, as you can see there, Bullseye came in and did. Now we have actually a really good opportunity, although this is going to cost us our Cosmic Fragments. I'm going to bring out Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom says, after summoning, add 220 hit points to nearby allies through healing. I'm going to put that right here and hit all 3 of our guys. That is going to mean we have no Cosmic Fragments for next turn, but it does add to our health, and then we recharge and gain health and gain attack back. So you do have 1 turn after you make a battle line of kind of being a little weak and being a little vulnerable. Okay, so I said before that you can do diagonals, which is what we're about to do right now. So let's go ahead and we'll bring out Karen Page right here, and we'll make a diagonal line. And this is going to not kill the destroyer, nor get rid of one of his characters, and it's going to leave him open to be able to create a diagonal battle line here as well. If you're wondering if you can do crisscross battle lines, yes, you can. You can do a diagonal and a horizontal or a vertical at the same time. It is possible to do as many as 7 people. If you have 3 in a vertical line and 2 diagonally and drop a 4th at the bottom, like kind of where Karen Page is, that can allow you to do 7 at once and do a massive amount of damage. But as you can see, with all the abilities from all the characters, that can be kind of tricky at times. Okay, let's go ahead and make a double line here. We're going to go ahead and bring out Maria Hill, and boom, add to Carnage and add to Iron Man's power, and you'll see we'll make not only a double line but a triple line because all of our guys are still on the field. Oh, here comes Hobgoblin. That's kind of nasty. Okay, that's not good. But all of our lines are still intact. So we're going to win this round for sure because all of our lines stayed intact, which is great. There's no way to make another line per se, so there's really not much more to do. Let's go ahead and I'll just, you know what, there is a way to make a line. I'm going to drop that onto him. Yep, onto Bullseye. That leaves us open right there. So I will drop this, and you can see here I do 5,789 damage with all 3 of these lines, which is really awesome. And just for boots, kill his Ikari. You get a really big animation here when you do the final death blow, which is really kind of cool. And the last person to attack will have this big explosion. You'll see right here. Kabooey! It's really, really cool. And you can see that it mounts up and mounts up and mounts up if you can plan it correctly. But it is a really strategic game. Even though it is tic-tac-toe combat, which is kind of weird, it is a really strategic game of how your character abilities will impact. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get any cards, but that's just the way it goes. Normally, if I was doing something like this to get cards, I would really do the auto clear and just do that to try and get cards. But you can go back and play them again. Again, I really like the fact that you can, like if I came in here and defeated the opponent leader with 3 or fewer battle line attacks, I would get a star for that, even if I didn't complete the other 2 objectives. So you don't have to complete all 3 stars on one shot, which is really kind of cool. Now, there is, like I said, a shop. You can come in here. You get free gold. You get free packs. You can get things that you can buy. Like, for example, here we have 200 free gold we'll go ahead and get. You can buy individual cards with gold. You can also buy packs with gems. I have a free single card pack right here, so I'll go ahead and do that. We'll see what we get. It's common, so nothing too great. You can also buy gems and gold, and you can use arena points and PvP points to buy cards as well. One of the nice things on here is it tells you how many copies of a card you have and how many you need to level up. So for example, right here, the Hydra Espionage Agent, I have 4 of 10. I can purchase 10 of them for 2,000 points, but I have in the upper right 4,370. That would be a lot for a common card. I'm not really worried about that. But like for example, if I wanted to get Fandrel, 3,750 will get me Fandrel of my 5,850 arena points that I have. So you have some options if you want to buy things. Again, I have been playing all the way to level 30. I have spent nothing, no dollars on this game, and it has been really, really good in terms of value, I think, for me. You can go into your cards and you can change your decks and you can change your leaders. So for example, if I wanted to go and create a new deck over here in number 4, I can pick whatever leader I want. Each leader has their own ability. So for example, if I wanted to pick Black Panther, I could do that. You can see his ability is 200 additional leader hit points. And on every turn, if the leader hit points is lower than 600, deal 50 damage to all enemies on the battlefield. So you can tune the characters in your deck to your leader, which is really kind of cool. There's a lot of amazing leaders too. Like I saw somebody earlier today with Thanos, and it looks really, really awesome. You can sort your cards by level. You can sort your cards by date that you got them. You can sort them by upgradability and see what ones you're closer to. Nice thing here, like if I see that I'm close, I only need 2 more cards of Nick Fury to upgrade him. On the upper left, I can hit collection hint, and then I could do like special ops 1.7 and move to that. So it'll pop up and show me. I can then auto clear, and if I potentially get some of his cards, yep, I got 1. I can do it again. Let's see if I can do it again. This would be great. Nope, got a Night Nurse. I still have 8 more auto clear tickets, so we'll see if we can get this here. Another Night Nurse. Come on, Nick Fury. Come on, Nick Fury. All we need is 1 Nick Fury, and we can show the world how to do this. Give me some good juju. Come on. 4 more tokens. 4 more tokens. 3 more tokens. This is like playing Las Vegas slots. Well, we're getting a lot of Night Nurse, which is good because she is a good character to have. I don't think we're anywhere near upgrading her to the next level. We've upgraded her a lot. Oh, that's it. Bingo. Nick Fury. Okay. So we have enough cards to upgrade Nick Fury now. Let's go back to our cards. My cards. Sort by upgradability. You'll see Nick Fury is upgradable right here. I can upgrade this card. Oh, but I can't. I need 5,000 gold, and I only have 3,420. So we're not going to be able to do that for you, but you can see the difference. So he would go from 424 and 315 to 466 and 436. He would go from adding 182 attack power to adding 200 attack power and be at level 4, which is really good. So there is, in addition to that, there are events that you can do that'll track different things. So, for example, like there's some that will just simply track what level you are. There's some that track how many days you check in. There's some, like this one with Mordo, will give you auto clear tickets. There are some like Cloak and Dagger that will give you actual character cards for progressing through them. And again, a lot of these require you to maybe tweak your deck or change your deck to do certain things, which I really like because it lets you expand and explore more of your cards rather than just getting one deck and continuously playing it over and over again, which is really kind of cool. There is a PvP action. You can do a quick PvP match. There are daily missions that you can do, which you can receive bonuses for, and you can complete on a daily basis. They'll give you different things like gold and experience and tickets. You can connect to your friends. You can do a trial simulation, which is kind of like a ladder match every day, and every day it changes, which is really kind of cool. There's a lot to this game, and the gameplay is pretty darn strategic, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm actually pretty surprised. Now, I will be critical of some things here. There are some things that I did not like playing this game the first time. For example, the tutorial is terrible. It's really, really rough to understand what's actually going on, what you're trying to do, and it took me a lot of trial by error to go through and understand what's going to happen. Once you get it, though, there is a lot of strategy to this. When you start to understand, oh, this is what distant means, this is what nearby means, this is what this card will do to the battlefield, this is what this card will do to the battlefield. There's a lot of really cool things that you can start to pick up on and be like, hey, this is what I need to focus on and this is what I need to work about. It's really, really cool. So I'm very happy with Marvel Battle Lines. For a free app, it's pretty amazing. If you want to pay into it, I'm sure it gets even more amazing. I'm not a big fan of paying into games. I prefer to play for free, but that's just because I'm an old man and I'm a cheapskate. What can I say? But really, really great artwork. Really, really nice to see nods to the artists for the artwork. I think that's just a really great thing. And the cards themselves are really quite amazing. In fact, let me jump out of this battle and I'm going to show you something. There is actually a really cool kind of reward system to this game. If you come up here to card collection, you can see what cards from different groups you have already acquired, and based on how many of them you have, you can unlock rewards like gems, which are in-game currency or money and things like that. You'll see some of them are question marked out because I haven't seen those cards and I haven't faced against those cards yet, so I haven't really discovered them yet. But the grayed out ones, you can see what they actually do, which is really kind of neat. So like you can see here, there's the Avengers cards. I've already gotten an entire set of the Shield character cards. The Defenders are in here. So it's really, really cool that those are things that are part of the sets that you can kind of collect inside of the set. So that is Marvel Battle Lines. Really, really enjoying it. I think it's a great little free app. It's a wonderful game to play for like 5-10 minutes at a stretch or for hours. I've actually played the game for almost 2 hours at a stretch, and that's one of the cool things about it. There's no energy involved. There's no like in-game currency to continue playing the game. You can keep playing the game as long as you want. There's nothing that's going to stop you from playing for 10 hours straight other than just pure exhaustion. And I like that. I don't like apps that like, oh, you don't have enough energy. You have to pay 3 lightning bolts. That just drives me bonkers. So that's Marvel Battle Lines. Let us know what you think. It is tic-tac-toe combat, but it's kind of cool tic-tac-toe combat. I really like it. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment below in the YouTube channel. Of course, you can chime in on Facebook, on Twitter, or on Instagram by searching Crits Happen. But until we see you next time, we hope you enjoy all of your line battling formations inside of Marvel Battle Lines. Thanks for watching. Keep rolling those dice, and we hope they're all crits.